Fall is my favorite time of year reading-wise. I love a good witchy book, a good historical horror, anything kind of gothic and creepy. And I read those throughout the year, but I especially dig deep in the fall. And these are all of the books on my fall TBR. I have a large stack of books right off camera. And this does not even include all of the books because some I only have digital copies of. I am so excited about this video. I have been planning and preparing for this video for quite some time. And I can't even wait. I can't even wait anymore. Let's just jump right into the books. Hold on. Before we get started, my name is Carly. I read and review historical fiction. Most of the books on this list have some type of historical element. They may not necessarily be historical fiction. There are a few contemporary books on here, and I'll talk through those when I get to them. But if you love historical fiction, particularly things that kind of end up on the bestseller list or book club fiction, this is the place to be. So be sure and subscribe and stay tuned. As always, every book that I discuss today is going to be linked below in the caption. Let's get started. This is going to be a longer video, so buckle up, Buttercup. I've got my iced coffee. It's Sunday morning. My partner is in the other room watching sports. It is officially fall. Football is on our TV very loudly. And I think there's like 9 different games on the screen right now. I mean, I don't know. I can't say anything. I read 3 to 4 books at the same time. So I guess it's all relative. So I made this list a while ago, and I may have already read one of the books on here, but I'm still going to talk about it. I'm in the middle of reading a few others. And yeah, I'm going to be reading this list of books through September, October, and into November. I know that it will be very hard to get through all of these books, considering all the other September books that I just recently featured in my September TBR or hopefuls list. But, I don't know. I really get just excited about reading this time of year. So I have a feeling I'm going to get through a lot of these. Let's start with one of the books that I'm actually reading right now. And I put this book off until fall, even though it published earlier this year. And I wasn't going to read it in September. I was going to read it in October, but my Libby hold came through for the audio. So I figured, why not? I've been waiting on it for quite some time. I'm just jumping right in, and I'm doing a tandem read and loving this book right now. I am talking about Bury Your Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. So if you don't already know, and you may not because I don't think I've talked about it here on Book Talk, I love Addie LaRue. I absolutely fell hard for that book. I know there's some kind of mixed opinions about it, and I totally understand that. It's not for everybody. It is dark and it's kind of repetitive, but I just loved how atmospheric it was, how much V.E. Schwab just kind of like pulls you into this universe of Addie LaRue. And the same can be said about this book. So this is about 3 different women. All 3 are vampires. I don't know. I think I'm about halfway through and the storylines aren't connected, but I have a feeling at some point they may connect. I don't know. Maria's story takes place in 16th century Spain. She is the wife of a nobleman. She was recently married, and she kind of falls under the spell of a local woman who is an apothecary. And next thing you know, she is a vampire solo, kind of roaming Europe. Lottie's story takes place in Victorian England. I'm just kind of digging into Lottie right now, so I don't know a whole lot about her. Alice, we meet at the very beginning of the book. She's in modern, like contemporary time Boston. And she wakes up after going to a party one night, coming home with a woman, and she's undead now. So there is some violence in this book, that is for sure. It is on the page. So if that's not your thing, this may not be the right book for you. It's, bloodlust, hunger, and just darkness, as well as all the bargains that come along with immortality. These are like sparkly vampires. This is a haunting story, and at its heart, it is a feminist story, and that is what I love about it so much. I gotta pull the stack a little closer to me so I can reach them. Up next is a book that I featured in one of my kind of look ahead videos, and that's The Sea Witch by Eva Lee. I've not read anything by Eva Lee, but I'm really excited about this book. Let me tell you why. So this is a Puritan New England story about a woman who is accused of being a witch. She escapes, steals a ship, and somehow becomes captain of this ship of all women, all of which are witches, outcasts, just women, downtrodden women. So we've got pirates, we've got witches, we've got sea monsters. Along the way, they capture a naval officer who's been hunting witches, and some stuff goes down. I don't know a whole lot about this. I haven't started. I have an audio and a physical copy, so it's another one that I'll probably read in tandem. Oh, another book that I just started that I cannot wait to dig further into is Play Nice by Rachel Harrison. I will read anything Rachel Harrison writes. I love her books so much. I think I've read all but two. And I have read one chapter of this book. I woke up this morning and I started this book, and I didn't want to put it down, but I had to get up and get my day started. The last book that she wrote, So Thirsty, I read in one sitting. Literally, I just sat down and opened it up, and next thing I know, half the day is gone. It was that good. So this is the story of an influencer who was raised in a possessed house, a house that her mother claimed was possessed, I guess I should say. Cleo, our main character, and her sisters were kind of taken out of their mother's care. Well, now their mother has passed away, and she and her sisters inherit this house. She goes back there thinking she's going to flip this house, sell it, no big deal, and she soon learns that her mother was probably right about this house. Described as being rich with kind of family trauma, Gothic horror, and Harrison's kind of standard snarkiness. I've seen some reviews of this book that harken back to, and Harrison has also herself said that it kind of harkens back to the early 2000s when people like Lindsay Lohan and Britney Spears, Jessica Simpson were kind of held to this standard and struggled really to uphold that standard of female beauty, femininity, and what it means to be a woman. I'm really intrigued by that because I was in my early 20s then and really kind of came up with some of those girls. Yes, they were younger than me, but they were in the spotlight. The early 2000s was really the beginning of the online celebrity culture and the tabloid culture. I think Perez Hilton. And I'm really intrigued by how Harrison has kind of incorporated that into this work. I am very excited about it. Ooh. Up next, The Book of Magic, the last book in the Practical Magic series, the only one of the Practical Magic series that I have not yet read. I don't know why. I blasted through the three others, and then this one has sat on my shelf for 2 years since I finished the other three. I'm very excited to go back to this series, and I think I might finally watch the film since number 2 is just recently wrapped. I know everyone loves that film. I've just never got into it, but I do love Stockard Channing. So there's that. I guess I'm not a huge Nicole Kidman fan, but I don't know. Anyway, my understanding of this book is it kind of incorporates all the generations, and it seems like Jet is kind of the main character, but I don't know for sure. I don't know that this one has a historical timeline the way that some of the other books in the series have, but it sounds really kind of heart-wrenching. It's all about mothers, daughters, sisters, brothers, love, and one family's final reckoning with this terrible curse that has left them unable to find love. It's described as a breathtaking conclusion, and I am here for it. If you want to read reviews of the other 3 books, head over to the link in my bio to my blog, and you'll find those. I just recently published those after they sat in my drafts forever. Another book that I've had a copy of on my Kindle for years, and I might actually finally be ready to read it, is A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. So I'm going to end one series and begin another. I'm not sure if this is going to be for me or not, but I'm willing to give it a try. It's chunky, so that's another reason that I've kind of been putting this off. So A, I don't know if it's going to be for me. B, it's super chunky, and as much as I love big books, I don't know, I'm really in the mood to just dig into some of these books and blast through them because I know they're all going to be great. Another thing about this book that I'm not sure is for me, I've only read a couple of dark academia books, and they were okay. This one is all about a reluctant witch and historian who finds a bewitched manuscript. Finding that bewitched manuscript kind of drags her into this world of demons, witches, vampires. There's one kind of certain vampire in particular. So this sounds like a little bit of a romantasy, and I can be here for that. Fantasy, romantasy are not my favorite, but I have read some that I've enjoyed. So we'll see. We'll see how I like this one. Another book that I recently started, I'm only a couple chapters in, is The Silent Companions by Laura Purcell. I recently shared that one of the bookstagrammers that I trust most of all for horror Gothic highly recommended Laura Purcell as a place to start, and I'm excited about this one already. It's like super just Gothic and dreary UK setting. The premise of the story is a young woman who was recently widowed, has moved into the kind of crumbling down manor that her husband's family has owned for years but haven't lived in for some reason. So she's really alone. She doesn't know anyone in this small village. Her servants aren't warm and friendly and open, and she discovers upon arrival that the house is full of these wooden figurines, these silent companions, and the story kind of blossoms from there. I already am super enthralled by Purcell's writing and just crafting of this dark environment that I just can't wait to get back to. Another book that's been on my shelf for a very long time, and I'm not sure why I haven't read it because everyone that I know and trust that's read this book has loved it. I'm talking about Lone Women by Victor Lavalle. This is set on the Montana frontier circa early 20th century. A woman has fled California after something terrible happened there. She ends up on the frontier. She's carried this locked trunk with her on this journey. Of course, the mysterious locked trunk opens and we don't know what's inside. It is described as part monster story, part survival story. And it sounds really, really creepy. I'm eager to read this one because one of my book talk besties has written a novel and it's described as being very similar to this. And I can't wait to read this, and then I'm going to read her new novel because I'm super excited to support her, and I love these kinds of stories. A book that I probably would not have picked up had it not been for my September TBR jar pull. I've actually read this book already. So once I pulled this book from the TBR jar, I added it to my Fall TBR because it belongs in this type of book collection. Then I promptly read it and loved it. I'm talking about Conjure Women by Afia Atakora. And oh my God, do not sleep on this book. I have a whole other video I'm going to be recording about this book and other books like it that I recommend. So this is Black authored. This features a mother-daughter, both of which are healers, one during slavery period and the other during Reconstruction. And it's really about the power that these healers have to hold a group of people together through thick and thin. They're both, not only are they healers, they're also midwives. And the whole village looks to them not only to help heal them, but to also kind of maintain order and make some sense out of what's happening in their lives. And just things happen in this book that are really hard to describe. It's really good. It's rich with Civil War era and Reconstruction era folklore and stories that Africans brought with them to America during the slavery period, and just ways that they incorporated those stories and those beliefs into their everyday life during the slavery period. I loved this book. I loved it. Don't sleep on that. So I bought this book last fall and for some reason did not read it. The Bog Wife by Kay Chronister. This is set in Appalachia, and it's about this family who have for years and years and years tended a cranberry bog. And every year they have to sacrifice their patriarch. And when they do, the bog produces a bog wife, a woman who is kind of made of vegetation. And yeah, it sounds really creepy, and I am here for this. One of my Bookstagram besties loved this book so much, so I cannot wait to dig in. One of my favorite authors has a new book coming out this fall, and I cannot wait to read it. I have an early reader copy, and I just need to prioritize it. I'm talking about The Last Witch by C.J. Cook. I love Cook's work, and I have a feeling this is going to be a new favorite. This is set in the 1400s in Vienna about a very real woman, Helena Schuberin. I'm sure I pronounced that completely wrong. She is thrown into a prison cell with 6 other accused witches. A relic is placed in the cell with them, and they use that relic to create something much, much more sinister than pure superstition. It is described as highly feminist, which all of her work is, and I cannot wait to read this book. I literally will read anything that she writes. Another book publishing this fall that I have an early reader copy of is Dark Sisters by Christy DeMeester. This one follows 3 different women in 3 different timelines, all caught up in the crushing weight of religion. I can't wait. 1750, Anne is branded as a witch and forced into a dark bargain. 1950s, Mary is trapped in a perfect suburban nightmare. And in 2007, Camilla, a preacher's daughter, starts questioning everything she's been told. It's about generational trauma, feminine rage, and the dangerous magic of women who refuse to be silenced. Sounds so good. I've already seen some rave reviews for this one, and I have a feeling I'm going to feel the same way. A book that I bought a while back when it first published and tried reading it in print, tried listening to it, and just it wasn't the right time for this book. Let me grab it. The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. I have not read any of Bardugo's work. I have The Ninth House, and I'm told that it's stellar dark academia. Again, I'm not sure dark academia is for me, so I've kind of put that one off. But when I saw the cover for this one and read the synopsis, I just had to have it. Again, I've tried it already, and it just wasn't the right time. I don't think it's the book. We're going to give it another shot and see. Set in Golden Age Spain, a scullery maid is discovered to have special powers. She's eventually forced into this deadly game of alchemy and power. So we've got witches, alchemy, and Golden Age Spain. I don't know. It sounds really good. And I mean, just look at this cover. It's very pretty. I love that it's so textured. All right, have you read that one? What did you think? Another book that I had to have a copy of when I heard about it years ago, and it has sat on my shelf ever since, is Slewfoot. Everyone loves Slewfoot. I have a feeling I too will love Slewfoot. I just have not prioritized this book. So it's set in Puritan England. A woman is accused of witchcraft. There's a devil in the forest, And there's this like collision of survival and folklore. It's also illustrated. Gorge. Find some more. Creepy. And ooh. I bought this after watching that Anna Taylor-Joy film. That was so good. So yeah, I'm going to read this. Everyone says I'm going to love it. I'm sure that I will. I just need to prioritize this physical book because I don't think that the audio is going to do it justice given that there's illustrations. So yeah. I also really love magical realism in the fall, and this book sounds perfect. This is a book that I recently received in the mail. It's brand new, and it sounds like a time slip novel. So it's also another dark academia kind of vibe, and we'll see. So we've got a young woman who one of my Bookstagram friends described as somewhat annoying because she makes poor choices. So it's important to remember that she is young. She's like a teenager. She stumbles onto fragments of a book, or those fragments can literally manipulate time. In trying to piece together the pieces of this book, she starts unraveling history. It sounds a little dangerous, maybe even a little witchy, definitely a lot magical. And I mean, it's pretty. It's pretty. It sounds a bit like the Book of Doors, which I read at the end of the year last year and really loved. Another good one for this time of year. A book that I got an advanced reader copy of in 2023 before it was even published that I still haven't read yet. The Star and the Strange Moon. And I am very ready. I'm ready for this one. I have enjoyed some of Constance Sayers' work, not all. And I think that's why I've kind of put this off for so long, but I'm very intrigued by it because it has this kind of like classic Hollywood vibe. So it's all about a woman who is on set filming a cursed horror movie in the 1960s, and she goes missing. Decades later, another woman also involved in the film industry discovers what happened to her. It's described as eerie and Gothic mixed with kind of classic Hollywood glamour. I'm down for it. I love classic Hollywood. I'm actually working on a video about books that remind me of or kind of conjure that classic Hollywood vibe. Love it, love it, love it. Cannot get enough. I will watch any Bette Davis movie. I mean, love classic Hollywood. Probably could talk all day about that, but I won't. The same day that I bought The Bog Wife, I bought Victorian Psycho. I mean, it's tiny, so I have a feeling I can get through this. I don't know. I noticed when I was prepping for this video, it doesn't get great Goodreads ratings, so I'm really curious. It's about this young woman who goes to this manor house prepared to be a governess to the children there, and upon arrival, there's some kind of obsessive behavior that starts, and almost like cruel punishment. And I don't know, it sounds like almost like a psychological thriller, domestic thriller. And I don't know, it sounds really intriguing. I'm not sure about this one, but I'm going to read it. Set in the 1860s during the Civil War period, the witch's secret sounds really propulsive. So it's all about this young woman who is stripped of her magic and kind of dumped in the frontier in Colorado. There she discovers something that could help change the course of the Civil War. So we've got Western frontier, Civil War, witchcraft. What could go wrong? Sounds great. My In Real Life book club and I are reading Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier this year. And I'm really excited because I've never read this one and so many people love it. I have a feeling it's going to be a favorite. I don't I don't know how to do this book justice in this synopsis. I'll just tell you what I've got written here. It's about a young woman who marries a rich widower only to find that his first wife's presence kind of haunts her at every turn. It's described as creepy, atmospheric, and unforgettable. DeMaria is kind of often described as the queen of Gothic, and I don't know, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. And I'm really excited to be reading this with my book club besties and getting a chance to talk it through. A book that was recently part of Amazon First Reads, which if you don't know anything about Amazon First Reads, I would strongly encourage you to go check out my blog post on how to get free books, is The First Witch of Boston by Andrea Catalano. This is a reimagining of the earliest days of kind of colonial witch trials. It's described as highly feminist. It's all about a woman who refuses to bend to Puritan rules, which I think it's a good time for a book like this. I don't know. It's described as feminist and fiery, and I'm here for it. And I got it for free. Slashed Beauties is another book that I featured recently in kind of a look ahead. It's publishing in September, and it is a Gothic revenge tale that I am excited to read. Women who've been targeted for their beauty and their independence fight back. And there is a lot of witchcraft, a lot of ferocity and fury. It's described as unapologetic, which I really appreciate. And I think this is the time for these kinds of books right now. So I'm down for this. Totally down. It's a little chunky. The print is big, so that's good. Good for my old, tired eyes. Maybe I won't have to use my reader. Another book that I have had a copy of for a long time and have been putting off, and I don't know why, and it just seems like the perfect time to read, is Circe by Madeline Miller. I've read one other Madeline Miller that I absolutely loved, Ariadne, and this sounds so perfect for this time of year. So this is a reimagining of the story of Circe, a powerful witch in the Odyssey. And yeah, I'm totally down for this right now. Miller's prose is really stunning, and I've heard nothing but great things about Circe. Banished by the gods, Circe hones her craft and defies gods and men alike. I read a review about this book, and it was described as deeply human, and I think we all need a deeply human read right now. So this is definitely one of the books that I'm hoping to read this fall. No idea if I can even lift these, really. Oh my God. These are some of the books that I am hoping to read this fall that seem witchy and gothic and just overall creepy, perfect for the scary season. I want to hear from you. Have you read any of these books? Are you excited about any fall books that kind of fall into this category? What is your favorite spooky book that you highly recommend? Maybe I need to add more to my TBR, so let me know.